Hello and welcome back to another episode of Urban Informatics over coffee. I'm Ellen, and in this video 5, I will show you how to set up a camera and an environment, render it and produce an AVI file at the end. So hold on to that coffee before it flies away and let's dive in. So I've just loaded a model, it's just a mesh of a city, just as our base. And we want to create a moving camera that kind of sweeps through this environment, and we're able to record that. So to start this, we're going to create a path using a point curve, just because I find they're super easy. And we're just going to create the path we want the camera to follow. So say I wanted to follow this train line here, I will click and create a line and then right click to end that. So you can see there is a line above my mesh here. If we go back to the select tool and we select the line, which can be a bit hard because it is a line, there we go, we can move this. So if I right click on this move icon here, I can offset this to what I want. So it's currently at level 0. My mesh is a bit below level 0, but otherwise it would have spawned in the mesh. We can either pick an exact Z axis value, or we can just offset it by a negative number or a positive number to move the whole line up or down. I'm going to want my line just to be a bit higher, so I'm going to offset it by, let's try 20 meters, see what that does. So I type in 20 and I press enter, and it's now much higher. And I'm going to say that I'm happy with that. So say I didn't want my camera path to be completely straight. In the modifier list, I'm going to drop down my NURBS curve and select points. They're a bit hard to see, but they are there. You can see a green dot here and another one here. I can move particular points up and down. So now you see that my curve is not straight. You can do the same thing again by right clicking on the move tool, and you can do this for individual points, but I'm just going to make my camera a bit wavy just for fun. See what it looks like. You can see it's wavy. I can also edit these points if it's not quite right how I drew it. So now I have my wavy camera path that I'm happy with. I'm now going to add my camera. So I'm going to create cameras, and I'm going to use a target camera. Just drag it over here and drop my little box here. So you just drag, drop, and now you have a camera in your model. So a target camera will follow this box or wherever you set it. So as it moves, it'll pivot around this point. Because say I wanted to focus on the Flemington Racecourse and maybe the view from the Flemington Racecourse from this train line. I'm now going to constrain my camera to my path, and the way you do that is by going to Animation, Constraints, and a path constraint. So I'm going to select that, and you can see it drags out a line. So I'm just going to drag it over to my line and click when my line is highlighted. You can see my camera is now attached to the start of the line, but the target is still Flemington Racecourse. So if I press the target now, I can adjust where the camera is looking. And I'm pretty happy with my original placement. Just the center of Flemington Racecourse will do. Now to check that everything is working, I'm going to come down to my animation pane and I'm just going to press play and see what happens. And that's pretty much what I expected. It's following the line and it keeping on the target. Now to check what your camera is seeing, I'm going to change my view to my camera. So right click on perspective and choose camera. It's not very pretty, but it's fine. So now if I drag my animation pane, I can follow the camera frame by frame to see what it's looking at. So now if I add a couple more viewports here, I have one, my right one is my camera view and my left one is my perspective view. And if I edit my points now, I could manipulate the camera as I'm seeing it to get the perfect point of view or the perfect shot. So I can adjust this until I'm satisfied with the height and I can see it in real time. So I can see from the start and follow it all the way to the end. And of course, it's beautiful. I love it. You can do that with the target. And if I select the target and move that as well, you can adjust the target in real time. Focus on this oval over here instead. And put it on the ground. There we go. Also beautiful. The next thing is to adjust how long you want it to go for. Because this is moving very quick, and say I want a nice gentle motion through my model, I would stop this before we get whiplash and right click, or just click actually, on your time configuration icon down here. You can see the length of my animation is 100 frames and it ends at 100 frames. If I change the end time and make it higher, the length of the animation will go longer, but you have to do this in mind with how many frames per second you're going to export it as. And I think the standard is 30, and as you can see here, it's 30. So if we just work to that, and I wanted to move through my site for, I don't know, it's a big model, 20 seconds, you would do 20 times 30, which would give me 600. I hope my math is correct. And I'm just going to press OK and it'll update so that the length is also 600. So if I press play now, you can see the animation bar keeps going. So my animation is still going despite the camera not moving, but the camera stops where it originally stopped. To fix this, we need to go back to our camera, select our camera. There it is, just select him. And you can see there's I don't even know what to call that, a black marker. And you can just pick this up and move it essentially. So if I move it to the end of the timeline, all the way to 600, and now press play. Press play with my camera viewport selected. You can see the camera is now moving a lot slower, and it's a lot more palatable and won't give you so much whiplash if you watch it on repeat. So we're ready to render this animation. It's a bit premature, but we're just going to roll with it. So the one thing we're going to do to set this up ready for rendering is add an environment, so you're not looking at the void of the 3ds Max model. To do that, you need a HDRI image that you can import into 3ds Max, and this will just fill the blank space. So it's like a panoramic image with some lighting qualities that will light your model and provide a backdrop for your model to sit in. And because ours is a city mesh, I'm just going to pick a nice looking sky one. This one looks nice. Close the ad and just download that. So all these are free of HDRI Haven, and I believe it's a go-to for free images. It's kind of like a fail-safe. So now that it's downloaded, we need to add it in to our model. To do that, we can go to rendering up the top and then environment. You can see the environment map is currently none, so we'll press on none, open the environment drop down and double click on the HDRI environment thing that was there. And now we just import the thing that we downloaded, so I'm going to quickly find that here and press open, and you can see it's just kind of dropped in, and now I have a sky in the background, which makes my model look just that bit better. It's pretty ugly, but now it's just a bit better. We can check the exposure controller just by quickly pressing the render preview, and a little image will pop up here, which should hopefully not take too long. Yep, you can see it has rendered my perspective view, which isn't great. I might have had that one selected when I pressed these setting options, but I'm going to assume it's good, not be too fussy about it, and I'm just going to exit out of that. So say we've been finicky with our materials and our lighting settings and everything else in the model, and we're ready to render. In the next video, I will show you how to do that to export a nice little video and not just a single frame. But I will leave you there for this video, and I will catch you in the next one with a brand new coffee on a brand new day. See you then.